Now, here's a really cool story from Superhero Hype, a site I've never heard of before. But they are showing the link, or rather the trailer, to the Brave New World, which is coming out on a series. It's a series, not a movie. It's a series on Peacock. I don't know what Peacock is. There's so many streaming services, I don't know half of them, and there's so many. And they all have different exclusives, so this is apparently one of their exclusives. And this is on a story, Brave New World, by Aldous Huxley. I think I'm pronouncing his name incorrectly. But it's one of the more influential books I've read. I would say it's up there with 1984 for depicting futuristic worlds which are so extreme that the idea of it being a idealized society is actually the opposite in some regards. And they have some new additions. I don't recall anyone implanting themselves with some kind of weird looking contact lens. But the interesting thing about the story is it's so futuristic that the entire society is planned. The actual people being born is planned. So you have this caste system where all the people on top are super intelligent, called the alphas and the alphas plus or alpha pluses. And the betas are sort of the less intelligent. And once you start going down the list of people, you go from gammas, deltas, and epsilons, and all the way they describe these people, how they're created, because everyone's a designer baby. The entire society is just a series of genetic clones. The children or the infants are deprived of oxygen, and gammas to epsilons describe the people who have brain damage as a result of depriving these infants of oxygen. So they don't dislike these people. They're just considered lower on the tier. And everyone gets along together because you need everyone in a society to operate. Now, in the trailer is very futuristic. There's lots of scientific scenarios, or rather science fiction scenarios. And they showcase this one thing. It's a pill. Where is it? There it is. And this is the magical drug called soma. If you don't know what soma is, it is the most amazing drug you can imagine. It is an aphrodisiac. It is an hallucinogen. It is everything all at once. It always makes you happy. There's no downside. You don't have an addiction problem. There's no downer as you would get with an upper. So you take certain kinds of drugs, they bring you up, they bring you down. This one just brings you up, and then it wears off. And this is how they control the population. This is the ultimate thing. This is all you need to be happy. And the whole point of Brave New World is to be happy. It's the whole, everyone gets along, everyone works for each other, everyone knows their place. It's all planned out. This is your life. That's all there is. And you're going to be happy. And it plays around with the themes of a character who's trying to escape that world. And what did they do with the alphas and the betas? How did they come about? What did they try to do to make alphas work together properly? And they have all these wonderful designs, the color schemes, alpha pluses and pluses and negatives or minuses, the laws surrounding these people, how they re-educate themselves. They also have a lot of story about sexual behavior, which is a fascinating concept, especially in a society, especially in today's world. We're talking about anyone can love another for whatever reason. You're free to do that in this society. This, they take it to the next level, where it's a whole process. So I think a story like this is probably great. Again, it is one of the more influential stories. You should probably read this before 1984. It's more science fiction. There's a lot more interesting stuff going on. 1984 is very bleak, very dark. This one is much more, it's going to stimulate your imagination a lot more. Not to say it's less a dystopia. There are dystopias for different versions. This one is just more of a, if everything's happy, what can go wrong? And how it went wrong. Whereas in 1984, everything's dark. Everything's dank and gross and destructive and lying and just scary. So this is another form of dystopia, science fiction. I think it's a great read. Everyone should go read it. And if they're going to make a mini-series about that, fantastic. This is probably stuff like popularity, like the Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick. That sort of level of popularity, I would imagine. And it's just great stuff. This is a classic. I recommend the book. I hope the series is any good. Does it some justice. Does it some new spins. And I think it's going to be a great story. Check it out. Thanks for listening, guys. Have yourself a great day.